The next pattern I'd like to talk about is what I call the leading pattern. Now in this chord pattern, what will happen is you'll have this line or a phrase of some sort, and there's one chord sort of guiding you through the melody, through the lyrics, and then on the last word or the last beat or some kind of end to the phrase, that's when the chord change comes. So there's all this momentum that builds over the course of the line, and then the chord changes at some ending point. And this can happen in two chord songs where you just have this leading pattern back and forth, which we'll see in the example song we're about to look at. But watch out because it also comes up in songs that are a bit more complex in combination with other patterns. So just know that that is out there as well. Let's take a look at Down in the Valley in your songbook. This is in the key of C, so you'll need your C chord and your G7 chord. And we'll take a look first at the chord pattern. We've got 2 lines of 8 beats each here that just repeat over and over. The first line is going to have 4 beats of C. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch, then G7 for 4 beats. 2, 3, 4. The next line is also 4 and 4, but we've swapped here. So we're going to start on G7. 1, 2, 3, 4, switch back to C. 2, 3, 4. And then we start over the next line on that C chord again. And we just sort of go back and forth between those chords. Now you may be saying, hold on a second, we just learned the mirror pattern, which you did. Isn't that an example of the mirror pattern? And that is true, it is. We've got 4 beats of C, followed by 4 beats of G7, and then these 2 chords seem to swap roles here, starting on 4 beats of G7, ending on 4 beats of C. So we're actually doing double duty here. We've got 2 patterns going on. In order to hear what I mean by the leading pattern, though, let's start to add in the melody and the words, and you'll see what I mean when I say leading pattern. But we do have the mirror pattern sort of hovering in the background here with us. So I'm going to start, let me just sing the first 2 lines of the song on my C chord. It'll go like this. Down in the valley, valley so low, hang your head over, hear the wind blow. Pause right there. Now, in those first 2 lines, hopefully you heard what I meant about changing chords on that last lyric. Let me play the first line again. So we start on C. Down in the valley, here it comes, valley so low, 2, 3, 4. So we've got all the lyrics at the beginning of the line underneath that C chord, and we change on the last word of the line, valley so low. Same thing happens on the next line. Hang your head over, hear the wind blow. So notice we changed on blow, the last word of the second line. We changed from that G7 back to the C chord. What's helpful, of course, is that the lyrics rhyme, which will be the case throughout the entire song. We're always changing chords on those rhyming words. That's really something to listen out for as well. So the lyrics are going to be a huge help for you in keeping track of where those chord changes are. But there are a couple other things to think about as well. First, the melody can be very helpful. I listen for what I like to call little stair steps when the melody is kind of moving in a direction where I can think, I think a chord change is coming. For example, in the first line, I'll leave out the lyrics this time and just sing the melody. Do, 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 do. Here it comes. Do, 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 do. So notice there was this little do, 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 do melody line, this 1, 2, 3 change, right? Changing the mood of it. And then it'll come up in the second line. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Did you hear it? It was like walking down a staircase. Do, 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 do. Back to that home chord. So listen out for the melody. Sometimes that melody is moving in directions where if you say, if I keep going and I don't change chords, it's not going to sound very good. For example, in the first line, do, 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 do. If I just kept playing that C, do, that doesn't sound very good, right? That melody really wants you to move to the other chord. Do, 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 do. Same with the second line. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. You really want to go back to that home chord, right? So if you ever get lost in your counting, remember that in addition to the lyrics, the melody is really going to be helpful too. And the last thing to listen for here is maybe you caught a little whiff of that musical question and answer that we talked about as well. At the end of the first line, valley so low. There's this feeling the song has to keep going. We're not ready to end it yet, right? And then on the second line, we answered the question, hear the wind blow. And we come back to that home chord, what we call the root chord of the song. We feel like we have finished the phrase, and it's how we will end the song as well. So lots of things to be listening for. Listen for those groups of 4. Listen for that leading pattern. Again, that momentum moving to the last lyric of each line in this song. Listen for the melody, kind of stepping up or down in different directions, letting you know the chords are going to change. And finally, keeping the big picture by listening for that musical question and answer from one line to the next. Lots to listen for. Feel free to just pick one thing to focus on each time you use this video. Whatever works for you is important. You want to find that sweet spot challenge. But what I'll do is play through it nice and slowly here. We'll play verse 1, verse 2, and then we'll go back and repeat verse 1. And play along with me. You can use your songbook or you can try it without. It's up to you. Starting on that C chord, I'm going to strum just a couple times to get into the beat. We've got a waltz beat here, so they're kind of long strums. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, just find that beat with me. Here we go. Down in the valley so low, hang your head over, hear the wind blow, hear the wind blow, dear, hear the wind blow, hang your head over, hear the wind blow. Verse 2. Roses love sunshine, violets love dew, angels in heaven know I love you. Know I love you, dear. Know I love you. Angels in heaven know I love you. Back to verse 1. Down in the valley so low, hang your head over, hear the wind blow, hear the wind blow, dear, hear the wind blow, hang your head over, hear the wind blow. End on C. Yeah, nicely done. So you can feel free to go back and play through this a couple times with me, listening for those different pieces each time. Or maybe you want to try without your songbook next time. Whatever it is, feel free to come back to it as you need and enjoy your practice in between.